Hi everyone, Kyle here from BF Light Shows. In today's video, we're going to take the Experience Lights Pixel2Servo board and we're going to put it in the Home Depot 12-foot servo skelly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the head apart of this. It already has servos in it. It's part of Home Depot's new 2024 servo skeleton, and we are going to integrate it with this Experience Lights controller, which will allow us to program the servos inside this head, which will allow xLights to be able to manipulate it and get them to look around up and down and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have precise control over how our skeleton reacts. So we'll show you how to do all of this step by step. So let's get into it. So first up, we will go over the Experience Lights Pixel2Servo12 board. So we have a new box for 2024, and it has this nice little lock on it. Flips open. We have the new Clever Lock system for the pigtail. We have Clever Locks for the power supply for the servos, the OLED screen, and then we have this rotary knob that pushes down and will spin around to allow you to select different menus. And then we have our 12 servo outputs. So to get this thing powered on, we can take our 5-volt power supply. Most servos run off 5 volts, so I would recommend using 5 volts. And we will put the black wire to the ground terminal. We will take our red wire and connect that to our red or positive terminal. Click down and pull just to make sure they are nice and taut. So we have those, and we notice there is a green LED that kicks on, but the OLED screen does not kick on. Once we take our pixel lead and we connect that to our input here, we'll notice that the OLED screen kicks on. So now the OLED screen is on. If we push the menu or the button, we have a menu, and we can go in here and we can see all these different settings. We have pulse width, limits, home positions, zero data rule, DMX addressing, debug values, factory reset, and about. So we also have frequency and 16-bit mode. So we have quite a few options inside that menu there. We'll set this off to the side for now, and we'll go ahead and take the servo skeleton head apart. The screws are accessible through the back of the skeleton head. It is kind of difficult to get to them, so you need some type of long shanked Phillips bit. I tried using screwdrivers, but I didn't have a screwdriver long enough, so we'll use this drill attachment. And you'll notice all the holes for the screws. Not all of the holes have screws in them. Once we have the screws out, the head will come apart in 2 pieces. The head will come apart in 2 pieces. If you flip it upside down, you'll notice there is a circuit board here. And all of these will have the plugs in them. I took them out just for the sake of time, but basically they just pop out. I did end up labeling these along with the servos on top. That way, if I need to reconnect them, I know which servo goes to which position or which plug. So we have three different servos here to control the head movement. What I ended up doing is getting these little servo leads. I cut one end off of them, and then I spliced in the connection here. So I stripped off about a 1/2 inch of wire for each wire, and then connected them. The white wire is going to orange, red going to red, and brown going to black. And then what we'll do from here is take these leads, and these will connect to the Pixel2Servo board. So we can take our Pixel2Servo board, and we can see the 12 pins here. Pay attention that the black wire, or the ground wire in this plug here, is going to face towards the top. So it will face upwards towards the OLED screen. And these connectors just slide right on. The one directly under the pigtail connection is a little difficult to get to, but once you get that, the rest of them go on a little easier. So now they are all connected. We can go ahead and slide them through the little groove over here, close the controller. And what's nice about this is there's plenty of extra room, so we can actually get the Pixel2Servo's board right inside the servo skeleton head. So what I'm going to do is disconnect our pigtail here. I'm going to disconnect our power for now. Run the power through the back of the head here. Grab our Pixel pigtail, slide that up through the back here. And we can go ahead and reconnect that. Tuck all the wires back in. I'm sure we could make a 3D printed bracket or something to mount this board, but just for this testing video, we will just kind of set it in there. Go ahead and screw everything back in. So now coming out, we have our pigtail for our pixels, and then we have our lead for our power supply. So I'll go ahead and reconnect this. So now everything is reconnected here. So now what we'll do is we will jump over to xLights and start to control this. So over inside xLights, we are going to grab a channel block, which is this little double box next to the candy canes. We'll go ahead and we'll drag that out. By default, it's going to give you 16 channels. We're going to change that to 12 or 24, depending on whether or not you are using 8 or 16-bit mode for the servos. 12 channels is going to be 8-bit. Then we can grab a DMX servo. This is optional, but it gives you a little better representation. You can throw an image on here of the servo arm, and then you'd be able to see it moving a little bit better. To set that up, if you're using 8-bit, you want to uncheck this box and then use one channel. Then we are going to go to controller, use start channel, individual start channel, check this box here. So because there's only one channel, you don't need to click this box. So I apologize, I misspoke there. And then we are going to basically copy the first servo, make a second one. And a third one. Controller, start channel, start of model, channel block. This will be servo 3, so channel 3, controller, start channel, start of model, channel block, This will be servo 2, so start channel 2. Go ahead and save. We'll jump over to the controller tab, click on our Experience Lights controller, drag our channel block over to the port we're connected to, in this case port 2, upload the output, we'll save this, and then we can jump over to a sequence, new sequence, animation, 40 frames, done. I'm going to go ahead and remove the other models I have in here, and then grab our channel block and servos. And what we can do is we can grab a DMX effect and put that on our channel block. xLights will not give you a great visual representation of what this is doing. So if you want a better representation, you can use the servo model, and after you add an image, you'll see what the actual servo is doing. Since I'm doing this side by side with the actual skeleton, channel block is fine for me. So what we'll start with is output to lights. We'll click on channel 1 and do a value curve of 0 to 255 back to 0. And when we kick output to lights on, we'll notice that the skeleton head is now kind of tilting left to right. It's moving kind of slow because this effect is long. So if we shorten this effect, he will tilt his head a little bit quicker. So now you can see his head is kind of moving left to right here. If we come in here and do the same thing on the next one, now he is looking up and kind of tilting his head up and down. And then we also have this last one, which should be like left and right. So now you can see he's kind of looking all around. If we change some of these values, we can get him kind of moving different directions. So you can see we have full control over his head. We can make him look up, down, left, or right. So this is just looking left and right. This is just looking straight up and down. And then the other one is kind of rocking his head back and forth. So within xLights, we have control of all 3 servos and can make the skeleton move in basically any direction we want. We hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to comment below or send us a message. I want to thank David from Experience Lights for helping us get this video put together. If you guys need any controllers, be sure to check out experiencelights.com. And happy hunting, everyone.